Hi there, it's kind of dark here. It's the ultimate multi-instrumentalist, and talking about the oboe again. Alright, let me talk about F fingering on oboe. Okay, unlike a clarinet or a flute, flute is very simple. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? Oboe is not an Obame system instrument, unfortunately. Hope that somebody will make it. Actually, there have few attempts in the past, but was not quite successful. So, with oboe, the unusual things about the fingerings, there are a few things. So one is the F fingering, and one is the B flat fingerings. So let me show you the F fingerings. B flat is not that difficult, but it's very different from other woodwind instruments. So F. So with the oboe, C is over here, not over here, and this is another thing that doesn't make sense. So here's C, D, E. Now this is not F. This is F sharp. So what do we do? So this is E fingering, okay, and then there's a key in between this low D key. It's D key and E key in between. There is a key right here, which we call F key. Okay, and then like that. So there's a hole right there. Okay, so that is like that. So that is called a regular F. Regular F. Okay, keep that in mind. Regular F. So that's the better sounding F than any other F fingerings. Well, there's two other fingerings for F. One more for the most of the student model instruments. Okay, so that F should be preferred whenever possible. However, there are situations that you can't really do that. So, for instance, going from like a D to F. Well, it's not going to work, does it? Do you see that E in between? So it's not going to work. Okay? So it's not going to work. So what do we do? Well, there's a fingering for that. We call that forked F. Now, forked is a woodwind terminology when you have this kind of fingering. So this kind of fingering, either hand. So if you do this on the left hand, still it's called forked fingering. Although with the oboe, we don't use that fingering anymore. It's not a common fingering. For trill, you could do that, but not the genuine fingering for the oboe. So this is called forked F. Now, this oboe, this is a full conservatory system oboe. So that means it's a professional type of oboe. So when you use the forked F, then right here, this key, it's called a forked F resonance key. So if your instrument is equipped with that, then you could play forked F just like that. But most of the cases, actually, well, probably not so much so with the newer instruments. Newer instruments probably have a very good forked F resonance key. But most of the older instruments, older as in, I would say, pre-1980s, maybe? Probably even newer than that. Pre-90s, I would say. So any instruments older than that may not work well even with the forked F resonance key. So what do we do? Oh, and also if you have a very basic student model instrument, for sure it doesn't have that. Okay. So in that kind of case, what do? We push E flat key right here. So there are 3 keys here for the pinky on the right hand. The lowest one, that is the E flat key. Okay. So if you go from D to F, instead of going sliding like that, and then of course this is not necessarily the best execution of the fingers. Wow, I did that pretty well, huh? So like if you have, let's say, D, F, and E natural. So you do have to do that, which is kind of awkward. Okay, so then for that purpose, there is actually one more F key right here. So what you have is a full conservatory system instrument in this cluster right here. So which is the for the left hand pinky. On top of all those butterfly looking keys, there's one more key right there. This one. So that's called a left hand F key. So instead of pushing that key, you'll push that, because the if this finger is tied up, yeah, of course you can use a forked F, but forked F, as you heard, it's not the best fingering. Okay, so instead of using the forked F, if you have this key, this is more preferred. But then there's still some situation that the you have to use this left hand pinky for other things too. Then if that's the case, and you just don't have any choice but using the forked F fingering. And most likely in the school situation, the forked F is the first fingering they probably learn among all the F fingerings. So make sure that your kids know, your student know the regular F as well, because that is definitely better sounding fingering. So when you want to make the phrase more evenly and stuff, or in the good intonation, regular F is definitely better fingering than forked F. Okay, so that's that about the forked F. All right, Mitch, the Ultimate Multi-Instrumentalist, signing off.